What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about SoundHound, I want to go over some of the data points, break down what is moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is up 11.57%, absolutely epic day. 931 the low, 999 the high. So a couple things that's moving SoundHound today. One is just the broader market. So it's in recovery mode leading into Nvidia's earnings. So that should cause a whole new level of volatility, either cause the market to move then to the next leg up or potentially start prompting more fear. But as far as today is concerned, there's a little bit of optimism. At the same time, in SoundHound's case, you do have their earnings coming out tomorrow. So that is a whole new level of FOMO that's starting to kick in. So earnings is after hours, negative 8 cents for the earnings per share, 33.7 million for the revenue. So no real change for that, but there was one very interesting thing that did come out, and that was a new rating. So as you can kind of see, it does show it was posted yesterday, but it was obviously showing today. Cantor Fitzgerald Thomas, who does have a 55% success rating, did initiate coverage with a $10 price target. Although I know $10 isn't all that great considering where it was. A lot of people are just seeing it when, especially yesterday, it was in the 8s. It's still very good. And for being a speculative stock, I think that is very, very bullish. As a consensus, $16.50 is that price target, representing a 66.16% upside. So I've never really understood all that much why analysts give ratings the day before earnings, because earnings, that's when everything changes. That's when you're going to have a better glimpse of what is happening operationally. But nonetheless, having $10 is very good. In my opinion. So most likely once you do have the ratings or the earnings coming out tomorrow, you'll see a whole new level of analyst ratings. And clearly, if they are anywhere remotely as optimistic as the one that just came out, then you should see a nice push higher as a byproduct. So once again, letting you know about that. So that's pretty kick-ass if you ask me. But moving over to shorts, they are increasing 58.25 thousand shares. 30.46% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 100.24 million shares. So if we kind of look at what they were doing and have been doing, at its peak, it looks like they were increasing 1.5 million shares. So they're rather quiet and timid today, probably because they do know that today is more of a recovery day in the broader market. So they're just sitting back and probably will act based on Nvidia's earnings later today, as well as SoundHound's tomorrow. So once again, I do anticipate a little bit of FOMO going into SoundHound's earnings. So tomorrow should be a pretty good day. Aside from that, the only thing that has really come out was this. So SoundHound posted this on social media. That was done yesterday at 2 o'clock. So they're just going to be in Las Vegas between March the 10th and the 12th. So still keeping up the good conferences. I think that's a pretty good thing. But no official news from SoundHound today, nor any SEC filings. But then again, I think that's kind of normal for any company, pretty much going into their earnings. Like, you don't really put out news the day before, right? You kind of just talk on it. But essentially moving on from here, though, looking at options, 3.13 in puts, or calls, 3.13 million in calls, 1.92 million in puts. 52% of all the options being done today are bullish in nature, and of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $12 range. That's obviously encumbering post earnings, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 8. So should be a fun time ahead. But based on this, you do see all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So a good amount of buying going on. As far as right now, with it at $9.97, it is right below this S2. So 10.02 will be a key point for it to close above today, and for it to continue its good momentum to roughly around that 12.48, at least in the short term. And the bullish options are pretty much pointing for it to hit that, at least roughly around that $12 range. So again, something to kind of keep in mind. But today seems to be rather epic. all in all. But aside from all that fun stuff, moving over to the actual chart, let's kind of do that for a second. So with it at $9.99, it is right now kind of in between these 2 points, so the ALMA, so it's breaking above that, and it does have that 100-day moving average at $11.41. So that's going to be the next kind of point to really watch for. So that's in between that $10 and $12 fib level. So one thing to take note of as well is stochastic RSI is considered very oversold, and you're starting to see a nice bullish deviation. So potentially, if Nvidia's earnings are good, you'll have that as well as FOMO itself kicking in tomorrow, really pushing the stock higher going into SoundHound's actual earnings as well. So yeah, in the short term, you're going to see most likely a lot of positivity, in my opinion, of course. And again, based on SoundHound's earnings and what they give for future guidance, what they're planning on doing with that recently submitted money for the S3 or from the S3, then yeah, it could continue higher from there. All depends on the results. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. What's your viewpoint on that new analyst rating? Do you think it's good, bad? Do you think $10 is too low? What's your general thoughts on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look with all that. Appreciate all of you watching.